I'm striving to get rich. That's why I always went 2 years without buying shoes and feet. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little proud.
Bears offense sucks.
So much pain! So much pain!
Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and welcome back to another Chicago Bears reaction. And let's just face it, this Chicago Bears offense sucks. But before I get into my thoughts on this brutal loss, make sure you guys leave this video a like. That does help this channel to grow tremendously. And also click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss reaction videos like this, preview videos, and videos on storylines that happen throughout the course of this NFL season. But enough with this intro. I'm just going to dive right into this game. And the first thing I am going to start off with is this trash, horrendous, atrocious Chicago Bears offense. And the offensive line played a horrible game. An absolutely horrible game. 9 sacks. 9. Justin Fields literally had no time in the pocket. Jason Peters, why would you sign a guy at 39 when you have somebody like an Eric Fisher or Mitchell Schwartz on the market? Why? Why? He's 39 coming off of bad seasons, and he's 39 coming off a laundry list of injuries. And he can't move anymore. And that is about as clear as day. Going up against Myles, Garrett, a potential defensive player of the year candidate. He cannot move. He might be strong, but he can't move anymore. It's not the same player. Eric Fisher is better than Jason Peters is at that point of his career. Jermaine Fatty, trash bag. And on top of that, let's just get into the elephant in the room. Matt Nagy. You have Matt Nagy literally sitting Justin Fields behind 2 struggling left tackles with no rollouts, no consistent running game. He got away from the running game today. No consistent running game, no screen game, no rollouts, no play action, nothing. Just basically a drop back offense behind 2 tackles that are absolutely struggling. And you have nothing in the playbook, nothing that you scheme up, nothing that you call that offsets that pass rush. And clearly watching this game today, it is as clear as day. Matt Nagy has got to go.
Yeah! Fire!
He has got to go. One of my keys in this game that I've created in my preview video is that Matt Nagy needs to scheme up a way to make, number one, that pass rush less effective, and 2, utilizes Justin Fields' mobile ability and his arm talent. And none of that happened today. None of it happened. Averaging 1 yard a play. 1 yard a play. In the NFL, you are in an offense that averages 1 yard a play. 1. And through 3 games this season, the Bears have scored all of 3 offensive touchdowns in an offensive league like we have today. And coming into this game, the Bears were ranked 31st passing offense. 31st passing offense. And Matt Nagy is basically a guru. He's an offensive guru. Where? Because at the end of the day, this Bears offense, it is a pattern that has been struggling no matter what quarterback you have. Whether it was Foles, whether it was Trubisky, even Dalton. This Bears offense is just not good. And the common denominator throughout all those quarterbacks, one man, Matt Nagy. At some point, we have to stop pointing the blame at everything else and start pointing the blame at him. Because it's as clear as day in today's game, and the way today's game went really, really showed it. Scheme doesn't work, and his play calling clearly doesn't work. Even with Justin Fields. Justin Fields is, I believe, more talented than all of the quarterbacks that Matt Nagy has had. And the Bears offense looks no different. The Bears offense got away from the running game. The Bears offense, it just looked like it couldn't run a single play. It looked like the high school offense, for Christ's sake. You're having Justin Fields as a sitting duck behind two tackles and Peters and Ifedi, and you don't roll him out, you don't bootleg him to utilize his ability and to offset more of that pass rush. You don't have plays designed to where Justin Fields can use his running ability. You don't have plays for Justin Fields to use his athletic ability and use it as a weapon. It was none of it today. It was none of it. You did the same thing with Mitchell Trubisky, who was an athletic guy too. You tried to sit him behind the bad line and turn him into a pocket passer. Justin Fields is a better pocket passer than Trubisky ever was. Arguable, yes. But at the same point, you have to create ways for this offense to be dynamic. You brought in all that speed and you don't use it. I thought this reaction is probably turning into more of a Matt Nagy rant, especially after a game like today. And the anticipation that we have for Justin Fields coming into this game and the things that we thought he can do with this Bears roster as constructed now, we thought it could be a little bit more productive. This Bears offense looked absolutely worse. It just looked absolutely worse today. Worse. Offensive line, I don't think the offensive line has looked this bad in quite a while. And I can't fully blame the offensive line because it wasn't schemed ways to where you can offset that pass rush. You didn't run a screen to where you can have those guys tee off and you have something behind them. You didn't run a screen until 3 minutes left in the game. 3 minutes left in the game is when Matt Nagy called his first screenplay. I just do not understand for the life of me how this Bears offense can succeed with Matt Nagy in control. And there is a reason. There is a bona fide reason why Matt Nagy gave up play calling last year. It seems more evident he can't call plays. It just seems more and more evident. David Montgomery was a non-factor today. Damian Williams was non-existent. Why? Because you kept dropping Justin Fields back in the pocket behind and struggling offensive line. Hence is why he got sacked 9 times. Justin Fields didn't even have time to breathe before the pressure was on. You didn't scheme ways to offset that. And like I said earlier, it is a night and day thing to how offenses are called, to how offenses are schemed. Cleveland's Browns offense struggled early. The Bears defense was getting after Mayfield. Robert Quinn had a tremendous day. Khalil Mack, even hurt, played really good football. Roquan Smith was playing really good football. But the difference between a Kevin Stefanski coached offense and a Matt Nagy coached offense is that Kevin Stefanski made some adjustments to help his guys be more effective. Matt Nagy was so stubborn and still stuck in his own ways and still stuck in his own offense versus making the proper adjustments, which is something I've been very critical about him. He did not make the proper adjustments with the way in the field of the game. It did not happen. The Bears offense looked exactly the same throughout the course of this game, which is why the Bears offense only mustered 2 field goals. We got helped by a penalty, which it wasn't really the biggest push, but a letter of the law penalty, but still couldn't punch the ball in the end zone. Still couldn't punch the ball in the end zone. Now, I do give the Cleveland Browns defense credit. They played well and they showed up. But the Bears offense made things a lot worse schematically and a lot worse play calling wise. And the offensive line looked awful. It looked awful. Now, I don't have a really theme of where this video is going to go. I think it's more of a rant. It's more off the cusp because this game was just brutal. This game was just absolutely brutal. In every sense of the word, brutal. And when you have a defense that is making stops, you have a defense that is making plays, but then you turn around to an offense that's doing absolutely nothing, an offense that cannot sustain a drive, an offense that cannot move the football, number one, your defense is going to get tired, especially with how physical the Cleveland Browns offense is. Your defense is going to get tired, number one. Number two, your defense is going to get demoralized because they have so much pressure on them to make every single stop because they have no faith in the offense to do anything consistent. If the Bears don't create turnovers, create interceptions, fumbles, the Bears offense is not going to do anything. Because on its own, this Bears offense is not good. And it proved size last week, even when the Bears were creating turnovers, offensively they still couldn't convert those into touchdowns. They had a big break with that long passing play that Justin Fields created with his legs outside of the pocket and threw the ball deep on the penalty. But we get that and we don't convert that into points to help anything. The Bears offensively will not reach his full potential until Matt Nagy is given his walking papers.
And that was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion. We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked. Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
And on top of that, you go back to Dalton, you're only going to ruin Justin Fields' confidence, especially after a game like today. So the Bears are in a position where they're kind of stuck. And it's not going to be a good look. And it seems like it's going to be a very, very long season. I give the Browns credit where credit is due. They came out, they made those adjustments offensively to what the Bears were doing defensively, and they were able to move the football, and they started to tire the Bears defense out, and they were able to move the football through their running game, which was their strength, and it's always been their strength. Baker Mayfield was able to make some plays. Now, I do love what Jalen Johnson is doing, but opposite of him, Vildor struggled a bit today. Vildor struggled. Eddie Jackson still looks out of place, and he's missing tackles. But for the most part, I cannot criticize too much of the Bears' defense because the offense was so bad. The offense put them in such a bad position throughout the course of this game. But that is only so much that you can do as a defense when your offense is not making anything happen. When you have all of the pressure of the game sitting in your lap because your offense is not doing anything, and it's probably going to cause the defense to try to do a little bit more than what they are capable of because your offense is just that bad. Overall, it's just looking like it's going to be a long season for the Bears offense, and Matt Nagy is the root of all the problems. Well, not all the problems, most of them. Play calling is not very good, and it hasn't been good the past couple of seasons. His scheme just does not work, and I've been saying that on his channel as well and on Twitter for the past couple of seasons. It's just not working. It's time for a change. It's time for a change. You can't keep rolling with this and expect it to work when you don't have any evidence of this Bears offense working to its full potential with the players that they have, especially at the wide receiver positions. Robinson, Mooney, Goodwin, Bird, Kmet, Graham, which I talked about that in my preview video. Graham and Kmet were going to have to be more involved, and they weren't, but you can't blame all that on them. It's because the offensive line didn't hold up and you didn't scheme a way to help offset the pass rush. At the end of the day, Matt Nagy has got to get fired. Matt Nagy has got to go. No matter the quarterback, the offense is no different. And it's bad. It's bad when you finish 29th and 19. You finished 22nd last year, and you're 31st against the pass. And from what I remember, they were 25th overall. I've said all I got to say. Comment your thoughts down below. I'm kind of done. I'm done with the rant. I don't even want to talk about Matt Nagy no more because I'm still eerily pissed. But you guys leave a like on this video. Comment your thoughts down below. Make sure you click that subscribe button for more videos like this. I can't do this anymore. You guys have a great and excellent day. Bear down. Peace.
blasphemous. That is blasphemous.